A live look this afternoon at Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. That's where President Joe Biden is spending the entire week with pretty much a clear schedule at this point. The White House says he and First Lady Jill Biden will not return to Washington until next week. They left the White House, as we know, on Friday, this past Friday, seemingly at the same time that People magazine came out with this right here. The President and First Lady finally acknowledging their granddaughter, Navy. Correspondent Sarah Williamson joins us now with more on the story. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, John. Well, that's right. The president is being criticised for what is being labelled a Friday night news dump in an exclusive to People magazine. President Biden is finally acknowledging his 7th grandchild, Navy, after spending years saying that he only had 6 grandchildren. This comes weeks after Hunter Biden settled his court battle with the mother of his 4-year-old daughter, Navy Jones. The court battle was in relation to a paternity test filed against Hunter Biden by the mother of the child, London, from Arkansas. The statement provided to People magazine says, "Our son Hunter and Navy's mother, London, are working together to foster a relationship that is of the best interests of their daughter, preserving her privacy as much as possible going forward. This is not a political issue. This is a family matter." And they looking for the best best way that they can look after their grandchild, Navy. But people on social media weren't exactly impressed. Axios correspondent Alex Thompson points out the timing of it all, saying that this happened on Friday at 5 p.m. that he decides to release a statement to People. Podcaster Comfortably Smug finds it laughable that the baby is a Friday night news dump for Joe Biden. And media critic Steve Krakow says, "Always classy when you have a summer Friday night news dump is an acknowledgement of your grandchild." And even MSNBC's Jonathan Lemire commented, saying that this has become a storyline that the White House could no longer ignore. Now, John, this just goes to show that we're going to have to be keeping our eyes peeled in the next coming weeks to see if he actually does say he has 7 grandchildren when he gives his next speeches, or if Navy gets set aside again. John?
Yeah, exactly. And clearly, the Biden's trying to do a little damage control and crisis management on this. Sarah Williamson, live
Absolutely.
in New York. Sarah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's talk about this a little bit more and bring in our panel, host of the Sam Sorbo Show. Sam Sorbo joins us, and also former gubernatorial candidate in Michigan, Tudor Dixon, who has her own great podcast. You want to check that out, ladies? Welcome in.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's great to have you both. I mean, this is just obviously, to me, this was so sad to read. I mean, I think that we all know clearly that the best interest would have been maybe, I don't know, not having Hunter go in, try to reduce his payments, creating an education fund. I could think of a ton of things that would have been in Little Navy's best interest, not what happened here. Your reaction first, Tudor, as someone who's run for office. This is clearly a way to maybe try to get the heat off them for this.
Right. Anybody who's saying that this was not a political decision, this was definitely a calculated political decision at a time when you see that Hunter Biden was just refused his global immunity. So the Hunter Biden story is not going away. You have to assume that some consultants sat them down and said, look, this is going to be a story. You got to say something about the granddaughter now. We'll do it at 5 p.m. We'll call People magazine. They'll run a nice spread. You'll look very friendly. All of the moms read it. They'll think you care. The problem with that is that all of the moms out there know what it would be like to have the president of the United States not acknowledge their own daughter, and they're disgusted by this.
Yeah, you know, that's a great point. Also, what I felt too, Sam, is like People magazine, aren't they usually like reality TV stars? They're sort of tabloid, but they just took the very, very neutral statement here and went with it, allowing them to say what they wanted to. No pushback here. I mean, Hunter Biden, in many ways, is a deadbeat dad.
Oh, I think he supplies the definition of a deadbeat dad, trying to get out of child support and denying paternity, and then when that was thrown in his face, denying child support and trying to get out of it, and his father supporting him the entire way, not acknowledging the granddaughter at all. Even, I mean, I remember there was a report of the Christmas tree, and she wasn't mentioned as a granddaughter at all. And she's 4, and they do this Friday news dump to try to avoid the issue, but so that they can say, no, we've been talking about this all the time. Here's the upshot. We devalue children in the United States. We consider them expendable. We consider them burdens. According to President Barack Obama, he wouldn't want his daughters to be, quote, burdened with a child or with a baby. We have so devalued the child in this country that this is now acceptable behavior, certainly acceptable to People magazine. They seem to be fully in support of it. And I find it just absolutely atrocious. And I wish that there were more backlash. I'm really glad that you guys have decided to cover this way.
Yeah, I was outraged. I think we talk a lot here about these issues going after, the problem and trying to solve fatherlessness issues. We know how that results with young kids who don't have that. And, it's just so sad on many levels here. Ladies, appreciate your time. Wish we had some more, but we'll have you back real soon to discuss some issues. How about that? Tudor and Sam, thank you.